Hi class. Today we're moving on to our Unit 9. This unit is very different from all other units that we've covered so far. So in 5th grade, we've been doing lots of computations and figuring out math problems. This one is about geometry. So there's going to be a lot of new definitions or definitions that you've heard in the past that are going to come back. We're going to need to memorize and understand what these terms mean. So today's lesson's a lot of vocabulary and not a lot of actual math where you are calculating something. So this is Unit 9 found in Swun 9-1, 9-2, and 9-3. We're going to be talking about polygons. Our objective or our goal today I will learn to classify polygons based on their attributes. So you might be wondering, what is a polygon? What is an attribute? So a polygon is a closed, flat shape with at least 3 sides. And this word "at least" is important because it could have 3 sides, it could have 4 sides. As long as it's more than 3 and it's closed, it's going to be a polygon. For example, right here, I have what we know as a triangle. That is a 3-sided closed flat shape, so that is a polygon. I have this shape right here. This is a 4-sided shape. You might look at it and think that's a square. It is also a polygon because it is closed, no sides are open, it's flat, and it has at least 3 sides. It has 4. We have this shape right here. This is not a polygon because there is an open side. A regular polygon is when all sides are equal. So just like before with our square, it has 4 sides that are equal. And in math, when you see a little tally mark like this in the middle of a side, that shows that the sides are equal. So that would be a regular polygon. Here we have a triangle with all sides that are equal. And right here, we have a rectangle where these 2 sides are equal and these 2 sides are equal. So that means that this is not regular because not all sides are equal. So that wouldn't work. An irregular polygon are all sides are not equal. And most shapes are irregular polygons. A triangle. So a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides and 3 angles. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides and 4 angles. And there are lots of different types of triangles and quadrilaterals, and we'll go into the specifics later on in this lesson. So attributes. What are attributes? That's part of our learning objective today. Today I will learn how to classify polygons based on their attributes. So attributes are properties or characteristics of a shape. So for example, a triangle, its attributes would be that they have 3 sides and 3 angles. The next 2 vocabulary words are about lines. So parallel means that two lines will never touch. And a good example of two lines never touching, look here. We have two lines. These lines are going the exact same direction. They will never touch. It's impossible. These two lines are parallel. When you see a shape, for example, right here we have our two lines. These two are parallel. They'll never touch. You will see it written like that. That sign, those little, it looks like a greater than sign on a line. Those little greater than signs on the line mean that they are parallel. Perpendicular is when two lines that they're two lines that create a 90-degree angle when they touch. The key word is when. They don't have to already be touching. So you might see this and see they touch and they create a 90-degree angle. Some of you guys might be wondering, what is a 90-degree angle? A 90-degree angle, I like to think of, is my corner of my paper. That is a 90-degree angle right here. That forms it. And a trick that I use is I take that corner of the paper and I fill it into both of the lines. If it fits into that spot perfectly, it's a 90-degree angle. And it's represented in math by making a little square in that corner. So you might think that is perpendicular lines, or if there's a T, that makes a 90-degree angle, so that it could be perpendicular, or maybe even an L shape. Right here's a 90-degree angle. But the definition says when they touch, the lines don't have to be touching already. So I could have a line here and here, and we can see that they're not touching, but when they do, they will form a 90-degree angle. Those lines are perpendicular. Our next word is congruent. So congruent's just a fancy way to say equal. And then the next three are about angles. So an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. So this angle is less than 90 degrees. Right angle is 90 degrees, and we just showed it. It's represented with the little square in the corner. And then obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. Okay. Let me get out my second page. And the next three words, these are all going to be about triangles. So let's make a big triangle. Remember, a triangle has, let's put inside, it has 3 sides and 3 angles. Okay, now more specifically, the equilateral, all sides are equal. The isosceles triangle is that 2 sides are equal. And isosceles triangles are my absolute favorite type of triangle, because when I see one, I think of one of my favorite desserts. I think of my ice cream cone. When I see an ice cream cone, I see that those 2 sides are equal. So think of isosceles ice cream cone. 2 sides are equal. And then for scaling, no sides are equal. Okay, our notes today. I know it took us a long time to get to notes. Every triangle has two names. One name is given based on its sides. The other is given based on its angles. Okay, and again, we saw it based on its sides right here, and on the first page, acute, right, and obtuse, that's where the triangles would be classified based off of their angles. Okay, the bottom of our notes did not print correctly. So we're gonna take our pencil, we're gonna put a big X on that. So we would have been naming by sides and then by angles, and I'm gonna show you that in your textbook. So you have not gotten your book yet, but on page 2 of your book, there is a classification of triangles. So again, it's a closed plane shape with 3 sides and 3 angles. And if we go this way, it's classified by the side. And if we go this way, it's classified by the angle. So we're gonna look at the ones that are classified by side. So equilateral triangles, remember, if they have the little tick marks, that means that these sides are the same. So this one shows that 1, 2, 3 sides that are equal, and then 3 60-degree angles. So this just shows me 3 acute angles. So this equilateral triangle would be an equilateral triangle. And then if we looked at it by the angles, which we're just doing the sides, but notice 60 degrees less than 90, so those would be acute. Okay, our next one, I see an upside down ice cream cone. The ice cream fell out. It's melting on the floor somewhere, but I see 2 sides that are equal and 2 equal angles. These 2 angles are the same. And then the last one by side is scaling. I look here, I don't see any of these little tick marks on any of the sides, which means that no sides are equal. No sides are equal, no equal angles for scaling. Okay, if we're classifying them by this angle, you look at the angles. Remember my trick with the piece of paper and the corner. If I put this on one line flat and I don't see the other line come out, it's going to be less than 90. So I could check all of my corners. That one's less than 90. I don't see another line. I just see this one line. Okay. And then let's try this last one. Nope, I still can't see it. So all sides were less than 90. Let's look at this one. It just, a right triangle just has to have one 90-degree angle. So I'm gonna put my paper right here where I see the square. And when I put it there, what do I see outlining my paper? I see the 2 lines, so that is a for sure right angle. Okay, and then let's try my trick on this one. I find that line, I look here, and I see the other line way over here. So I see one of the sides, another side, and it's way bigger than 90 degrees because it pops out all the way over here. If it was 90 degrees, it would go straight up there. So that one isn't obtuse because it's bigger than 90 degrees. Okay. On page 3 of your book, there is a chart. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Okay, so there's a chart, and this has classification by sides and classification by angles. So equilateral triangle, if we want to see what type of equilateral is based off the sides, if we want to see how it is by the angle, we can go, it's not possible to have a right angle. It's possible to have it acute, and it's not possible to be obtuse. So if we're having an equilateral triangle, it's equilateral and it's acute. For isosceles, we look here two sides that are equal. So this is an isosceles triangle. Notice it has a right angle. So an isosceles can be a right angle. It can also be an acute angle, and it can also be obtuse angle. Okay, so here's our scalene. Our scalene, it could be a right triangle. It could also be all acute scalene triangle, and it can be an obtuse scalene triangle. So this can be yours to reference. You can go based off of the sides and then find its angle by going across. Okay. We're not just talking about triangles in this lesson, but we're also talking about quadrilaterals. So remember quad, this word right here, quad. Quad means four. So a quadrilateral is a shape with four sides and four angles. To help me remember four, I think of a quad like an off-road vehicle. It has four wheels. Same thing for shapes. Quad means four. Quadrilateral has four sides and four angles. So this quadrilaterals, they can fall into different categories. So this quadrilateral up here doesn't fit into a trapezoid, and it doesn't fit into a kite. What does fit in for a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with at least one pair of opposite parallel lines. That's where this parallel and what was the other one? Perpendicular come into play. So our trapezoid has to have just one set of parallel lines. It could have two, but if it has one, then it falls into a trapezoid. A kite is a quadrilateral with no parallel sides and two pairs of adjacent equal sides. This word adjacent means next to. So these two sides are equal. They are next to, they are adjacent to each other. These two sides are equal. They are adjacent to each other, but there are no parallel sides, so it is a kite. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the shapes that have the four-sided shapes that have parallel lines. We have an isosceles trapezoid, and I look at this, and if it was continued down, I would see an isosceles triangle. It still looks like part of an ice cream cone. I'm just holding that bottom portion. Isosceles. So these two sides are equal. So it says a quadrilateral with one pair of parallel lines. We see it with this shape right here that represents that it is parallel. Remember, parallel, this sign that represented is that, or two of them through a line. Non-parallel sides equal in length, so these two are non-parallel, but they're equal in length, and the angles formed at the base and the non-parallel sides are equal. So these two are equal and these two are equal. Long definition. I like to think if it has at least one set of parallel lines and then the other ones are the sides are equal, and it's isosceles. Then we notice here we have two sets of parallel lines. This one and this one is parallel, and this one and this one's parallel. We also notice that this one and this one are equal length. This one and this one are equal length. That shows that it's a parallelogram if there's two sets of parallel lines. Parallelogram. Okay, a parallelogram can split. It could be a rhombus or it can be a rectangle. So the difference between a rhombus and a rectangle is that a rhombus has two sets of parallel lines, but it has four equal sides. So equal, 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 equal. They're all the same length. Okay, and then a rectangle has four right angles. So this here's one set of parallel lines. Here's two sets of parallel lines and four right angles. Okay, and then a square is a parallelogram, so it has here's one set of parallel lines, here's two sets of parallel lines. All sides are equal, so this side, this side, this side, and this side all equal each other, and then there's four right angles. this is good to know. How are we going to memorize this? Well, we're going to be working on it in class, and we will be taking notes on each one of them individually and getting to know them better. Hope this video helps. Refer back to it anytime during the lesson when you forget what shape, what characteristics belong to what shape.